What's happening, YouTube? Back in the Day Gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I'm your host, Back in the Day Gamer. And today, I'm coming at you with one of my favorite videos to make. Games I beat last year. Last year being 2022, fuck that year. Oh yeah, look at that big old pile of beautiful right there. As you can tell, it is mostly all NES. I don't want you to see. No spoilers. No spoilers. You watch my channel, you already know what games I beat. But this is the video strictly about these. Once again, Back in the Day Gamer does not look up how to beat anything. I don't watch a video on it. I don't look it up anywhere. Nowhere. That being said, these are only games I beat last year for the first time. No rebeats. Yeah, I beat Contra 1,000 times every year. That doesn't count. Shit like that, we don't put that in there. This is just newly games I beat in 2022. Okay, have them all broke down in piles because we're going to hit them in the order I beat them. But before we do that, as customary on this channel, we're going to crack open a beer. And today, just like my gaming, I'm keeping it real, drinking a PBR. That fancy shit that sometimes I like, whatever, but a real American red, white, and blue PBR. Fuck yeah. So, first game I beat in 2022 is a turd. We've got on the NES Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. I don't really have anything to say about this game. It's not fantastic. It was super easy. I hacked it out on the first of the year just to get a game under my belt. Next up, a couple weeks later, I beat Castlevania Adventure for the Game Boy. This game's got some pretty tough picture-perfect platforming. Say that 3 times fast. It's like you're walking through the mud playing in slow motion. Throughout the rest of the game, it wasn't fantastic. It was pretty easy, except Dracula was super difficult until I figured out his pattern, then I kicked his ass. A couple days after that one, I played a Game Boy Advance game, Muppets On With The Show. This game is not great, but there's some funny parts. The chef, the old guys, Beaker, not really recommendable, but it was fun to play through once. I did get some funny cuts that I use in some of my videos from that, so that's the highlight of this game. And the last game I beat in January was a gem that I'd been wanting to play for a long time once I picked it up at MGC a few years back. Finally sat down and did it. I said, beat me an RPG in January, and that I did. It is none other than the insane cover art of Ghost Lion on the Nintendo Entertainment System, or as you may call it, the NES. There is a lot to say about Ghost Lion. It's a very unique RPG. It got grindy at some parts, but you don't get experience, so that sucked. There were some spots in dungeons where you just keep getting your ass handed to you. All in all, it's not too difficult a game. There were a couple of cryptic parts where I had to do some backtracking, but I do give this one a 1.5. The only game I beat in February was a good one. Another Nintendo title. Whomp 'em! Most of this game was super easy, but a lot of fun. The last board, though, was super tough. End boss was hard as hell until, once again, I figured out the pattern. Then I ended up kicking his ass. I didn't beat any games in March. I don't know. I guess I was enjoying the spring or something. But once April came around, first game I beat was a homebrew? Is this? Oh yeah, it's a homebrew, right? It's an Action 53. I didn't beat all 53 of these games. I only beat one. It was called Twin Dragons, and it's more of a demo than a game. It was fun, super easy, just 2 levels. There may be a longer or full version of this game. If so, it's worth a play, but I don't have it. Next game I beat was fantastic. One of my favorite games of the year. I don't have it physical. I hate not having physical, but as soon as I heard about it on the Switch, I had to just download it and play it, and that game is none other than Infernax. Infernax on the Nintendo Switch. Awesome game. This one's really gory. It's a pixelated throwback style of new game. I found it to be a cross between Adventures of Link Simon's Quest and Ghost and Goblins. It had mediocre difficulty, but it was a lot of fun. It's got great controls, great soundtrack, fantastic graphics. I like how you get missions to complete. I thought that was really cool. There was an RPG power-up mechanic. And once again, I want to stress, this game had some gory parts. Real cool graphics. I was having so much fun sitting on the couch in the other room playing Switch, I decided to play another one called Super Cyborg. Now, Super Cyborg is just a straight Contra clone. Graphic, soundtrack, enemies, levels, layouts, background, all real cool, all totally stolen from Contra. But nicely done! This game could have been great, but for some stupid fucking reason, the controls have a deal-breaking glitch that just makes you jump randomly. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what the fuck the deal was with it, but it was super frustrating. I hesitate to recommend it because of that. I don't want to say I can't recommend it, but I do hesitate to recommend it because of that stupid little glitch. But it was way worth only $5. Moving on into May, I decided to play me some Master System because I love me some Master System. I don't know what made me choose this one. Probably because I watched one of your videos, just generally how it works. But I chose Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. This is your typical Master System bad game controls and bland graphics. I found it really cool how they redid Shinobi. At first it was tough because of the controls, but once you got used to them, I was getting to the last world without dying. I ended up beating the boss without taking any damage. It's about a 10-minute playthrough once you get good at it. Not terrible. I really wanted to pull off a no-death run on this one, but I just gave up. Only game I beat in June. I'm ashamed to even mention again, but we're talking about it, so Little Mermaid on the Game Boy. You know what game fucking sucks? This one. What did I expect, right? I don't really like the NES version. Was the Game Boy gonna be an upgrade? Yay! Fuck you, game. In July, I didn't beat any games because I was outside having fun. In August, as soon as it came out, once again, I don't have it physical, and I fucking hate that, but I couldn't wait. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Switch. I really had fun with this game. You know, it's arcadey, but you've got the overworld like on Super Mario 3 to go through. There's a couple little side missions that don't really add much to it, but I like completing things. This game was fun, it got a little monotonous, a little button mashy, but you had so many combo possibilities and whatnot. There has a lot of replayability here, and I thought it would have been super fantastic to play with somebody, but I don't have any friends to play with. So, yeah. No. Fantastic game. Love it. Probably gonna go back and play it after I make this video, because I just remembered about it, and that's what I hate about not having physical games. So moving on. Did beat another game in August. Which month was that? Yeah, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was in August. Legendary Wings. On the Nintendo. Boo, boo, boo. No death run alert, people. So you know I'm not a shooter fan. This one is very solid. It started off tough, then it just clicked, and I dominated the game. I barely spent any time on this, and all of a sudden, BAM! I no death ran it without ever even getting hit until like the 4th board. So I no death ran blind the last 2 or 3 boards. I don't think I even lost my super power up until the final battles. Bravo for Legendary Wings on the Nintendo. Not bravo to Monopoly. Pam from Cannot Be Tamed did a video about this game being the best version of Monopoly, and she was right. Or at least I imagine she was right, because I'm not going to play any of the other versions. It's got a nice game screen, sub-screens are cool, it plays well, it's got nice graphics and sound. And guess what? I no death ran that one too, so that's 2 in a row. Moving on to September, I played this fucking game all summer. It was way harder to beat than it should have been, and at first I absolutely hated it. I rage quit many a times, but I vowed to stop doing that. It's probably why I only beat the small amount of games I did beat this year, because instead of just rage quitting and moving on, it's fucking stubborn. Stuck to them. Sticking to it I did, and that led me to beating Paperboy 2. Yeah, this game was going to be my summer fun playthrough. However, it ended up being the summer fun ruiner because it took me like the whole damn summer to beat it. I shit you not. Like I said, didn't beat it till Labor Day weekend, the end of the summer. I liked how they added more, substance than the first one, but the first game, I believe, is a much better play. This one started out really hard because of the controls and all the fucking unfair deaths. Then after the learning curve, it got a bit easier, and I toughed my way through Monday through Sunday, only to find that that's not the end, and it just goes from easy street to middle of the road. Phase 3, which was hard way, wasn't nearly as tough as middle, which is just stupid. Then after all my hard work, I was rewarded with one of those fucking "Congrat game over" screens. Fuck you, Paperboy 2. After I beat that, the very same day I beat Fantasy Zone. Yeah, once I was done with Paperboy 2, I thought to myself, let's play a mindless shooter to calm my nerves and cleanse my palate. Fantasy Zone's an easy shoot 'em up that after an hour, I found myself no death running the entire game up to the boss. It's really just the boss before the boss rush that fucking stumped me. The stupid tiki-headed thing that spreads out to encompass the whole screen and insta-kills you. I spent half a fucking day on this bastard. I felt like breaking my rule and not looking things up because I knew it would be something stupid and I shouldn't waste my day. I even asked Megadan, because asking a friend is what you would do back in the day. And he didn't know, so I eventually just trial and efforted my way through it. You ended up just having to pick the one right stupid weapon that ends up killing him. But with that being said, I actually did like this one. And the ending was like very heavy and serious, which was a big surprise to me for a cute 'em up on the NES. Did I say NES? I didn't mean to. I meant Nintendo. Moving on to the next game, Alien Syndrome, another Tengen title. I like this game a lot. When I first got it, it seemed really difficult to get past the second or third board without running out of time there, so I shelved it. The top-down view really works here. I don't usually care for that, Zelda excluded. You know how I like a large boss fight, so that's another plus for me on this one. The bosses should have been tougher, but other than that, they nailed it on this game. Game I'd been wanting to play for a while. I'm not sure why, but I finally did. Adventures of Tom Sawyer. This game is harder than it should be. With its cutesy look, this should be on par with a game like Mickey Mousecapades. Don't get me wrong, it's not that hard, but there were a few tough parts that were comparable to parts in Ghosts and Goblins. Did I just say that? The real problem is this game plays too fast. But with the unlimited continues, like in Ghosts and Goblins, you can persevere and get through it. There were a few parts that were designed to be cheap death traps, which always sucks. But, with the unlimited continues, you can memorize your way through those. I actually left the Nintendo on overnight and beat this one in a morning. No, we aren't going to forget the elephant in the room here, the arcing rock throw. At first, this fucking sucked, but once you got used to it, it actually was preferable to the straight shooting slingshot, which I found myself passing on later in the game. The second board, the river raft stage, was definitely my favorite of all of them, and this one gets a thumbs up as well. Moving into October, back in the day gamer killed it this October. I was on it, started the month off right away. I had my pickups and my Halloween game videos, got them all out in a timely manner. Played many of the games I always intend to play, but don't until November or so. First one being one I've been trying to take out for a long time, finally did. Stellar Halloween title, Monster Party. Such a cool, weird game. You're all familiar with how strange this game is. It starts out with the dripping blood and skeletons, upside down legs sticking out of the ground, kicking the air. Tons of extra strange boss battles. Extra strange. So many monsters. If this game didn't have the stupid ass maze level, which I only managed to pass once just by luck, it would be in my top 20. For about the last decade, I tried to beat it every October, and that fucking maze board gets me every time. 2022 was the year where I finally stopped rage quitting, stuck to it, and that's like the third game that I pounded out because I didn't give up. Next game I played, get some B-roll for it, but I got drunk and bought an arcade 1-up. Simpsons Arcade. This is a fantastic addition to the game room, except it takes up a ton of space, and I never played anymore. Angry Baby does climb up there and bang the shit out of it, so I guess it's worth keeping. If that's where he cuts his teeth on video games, that's okay with me. This game kicks ass. Wish it had a port on a console, but it does not, so I had to drop the coin and take up space in the game room for this one. Moving on. This isn't a Halloween game, neither is that, but I finally beat my favorite game of all time. Tough as nails. 2 years ago, completed Ghosts and Goblins. Last year, 2022, the highlight of my year, I beat Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Fuck yeah! Sip a beer for back in the day gamer taking out Mike Tyson. Well deserved. As I was saying, I not only beat Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but I no death ran this sumbitch. The key was CRT. Picked one up a while ago, took up a huge space right in the middle of the game room, pissed off Mrs. Back in the Day Gamer to no end for 6 to 8 months. And one day I was like, today's the day. I'm hooking up the original Nintendo on the original style TV, and we're doing this. And believe it or not, it made a ton of difference. I mean, I can breeze through the game on a flat screen, no problem, except for Tyson. And I did. I think it only took me like an hour of playing Tyson before I kicked his ass. And after I beat him that first time, I beat him 3 out of 4 times. So, tip of the cap to me. I don't want to toot my own horn, but yeah, I did it. I did it. Now, the TV made all the difference. If you can't beat it, play it on old school. It's the way to go. Still in early October. Didn't rage quit on a game that I've been working on for many a Halloween. This was the year, once again, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Say what you will, but this is a top tier NES game. Once you learn the little things, this game goes from frustrating to fun right away. First 3 houses are random. The bar life isn't life, it's the transition from day to night. The order of the houses to enter. Blah, 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 all that stuff. Once you get the little things down, the game itself kicks ass. Everybody needs to play it at Halloween. November 1st, the end of the Halloween season. I got this, I believe, in my VGM box. Could be wrong, I think so. But I decided it was shooter time again. Twin Cobra. This was a fantastic shooter. Super fun, just addictive gameplay. The controls were ultra responsive, fast action. The game is bullet hell at some parts. Okay graphics and sound. Overall though, I really like this game. And it surprised me, I'd never seen it around. Even though it's a cheap common, I think the reason I didn't have it until now is because there's a couple games that are also called Twin, and I just thought it was it, so never ended up getting it. But this is one of my top picks for sure. I decided it was import time now. Been wanting to take this one out for a while because it's a super cool looking game. So finally sat down, tossed her in. Melfin Stories. I actually did a review of this game, which you should go ahead and check out, because I thought that came out really well. But this is one of my all-time favorite games graphically. Characters, enemy, backgrounds, you got giant NPCs. The color palette's fantastic. A+. The game itself plays a bit stiff. This was actually one of my very first, if not the first, Super Famicom games I ever got. It definitely sparked my interest in imports. I need to patch this one because I bet the story is, at the very least, interesting. I had a lot of fun with it and ended up going back and completing it on hard. Next up, Sean from the Nerd Layer did a video talking about this game. I was like, you know what? I think I have that game and I'm not sure why I haven't played it. So I pulled it out and played it. That would be none other than Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban on Game Boy Advance. This is a super solid mini RPG. I say that because I beat it in like 7 hours. I wish it were longer because it was a lot of fun. The graphics are great, the cutscenes were great, the gameplay was fun. It followed along with the movie. I definitely recommend this one, and I look forward to playing the other games on the GBA for sure. Coming to the final game of 2022. It's a game that, oddly enough, never even played until now. I was out and, game hunting is so dried up. I was combing through that Atari section. I'm like, shit, you know what? I don't think I have this one. So I remedied that right away. That would be none other than Jungle Hunt on the Atari 2600. So, I apologize. There's no gameplay because every time I hook up the Atari and capture game footage, it fucks up my capture card and then I have to redo shit. So I'm not going to do it. But Jungle Hunt on the Atari 2600 is pretty cool. It's a solid game. It's got good graphics for an Atari. Fun gameplay. There's like either 3 or 4 boards, which makes it pretty complex for an Atari 2600 game. I was surprised. I like this one a lot. It has an actual ending. So that's why this comes in as the last game of the year that I beat. Since it has an ending, which most Atari games do not, I beat it! So that's it, people. Right there. The number of games I beat in 2022 is only 25. But that is partially because I didn't have as much time to play because Angry Baby doesn't let me get into it as much. And I didn't rage quit, and I stuck to it. Some of those games took me way longer than it should have to beat. If I would look them up, it'd be a breeze. Fantasy Zone, if I'd have figured, just looked up what bomb to use on that one guy, boom, shit like that. But I won't do it. I'm fucking stubborn. It's not a good thing, but it's a thing. So, that brings, we got a total of, a little sheet right here. Beat 1 arcade game, 1 Atari game, 1 Master System game. We're going to remedy that. There's going to be more of those in 2023. We got 2 Game Boy games, 2 Game Boy Advance games, 3 Nintendo Switch, 1 Super Famicom, and 14 Nintendo Entertainment System titles. That then wraps up 2022. I want to thank everybody for watching. Almost at 1,000 subs. This was a good year for YouTube. Meeting lots of people, lots of new friends, conventions in real life and in the YouTube world. So I'm gonna keep at it for sure. Not only am I gonna keep playing games, but I'm gonna definitely keep making videos for 2023. Really look forward to a couple months from now going to the Midwest Gaming Classic. Seeing y'all there. So like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks for tuning into my channel. And until next time, YouTube, keep it retro!